The Florida Gators beat the Texas A&M Aggies 41-24. Massive win. If you don't know, or if you're new here, I'm Brandon Olson, host of Locked on Gators. And as always, we're going live following a Florida Gators game. Or as almost always, we're going live following a Florida Gators game, but this is one to be excited about. The Florida Gators came into this game not a ton of hope for them. I feel like a lot of Gators fans were not super stoked with how things were going, understandably so. Um, but you walk away with a win. This is a game where also Florida. I feel like they were kind of prepping for Connor Wegman, which they should have been doing. Connor Wegman, of course, is a Texas A&M starting quarterback last week against Ole Miss Rebels, and he didn't play poorly. That was his first start last week, but he did not get to start. Connor Wegman, like many Florida Gators fans, or like many Texas A&M Aggies, was dealing with the flu. Sorry, I got a text about Florida Gators fans. So that's what I saw. But Connor Wegman, like many Texas A&M Aggies, was dealing with the flu. Texas A&M also had just general injury issues that really held them back. I'm going to try to find the Nick De La Torre tweet where he listed who Texas A&M was missing in that game, because it was a lot. So Texas A&M was missing due to injury, the flu, or whatever reason, had starting left guard, backup left guard, starting center, starting QB, starting receiver, backup receiver, starting end, backup end, starting DT, starting linebacker, starting corner, backup corner, starting nickel, backup nickel, starting safety. That's a lot of players to have out, and it's incredibly difficult to win the game. I will say, even if they were healthy, Florida should have won this game. Florida won this game by 17. They should have won by more. I mean, I told you guys on, I think it was Wednesday's show, I was like, hey, I'm taking Florida to win by a touchdown. Like, I bet that. Plus 230 odds, baby, and it cashed. Sorry, plus 215 odds, and it cashed. Plus 230 was Florida to win and hit the over. Woo, which both hit. Full disclosure, I also took Florida to win and hit the under as a parlay, and that one obviously didn't hit, but I was kind of hedging on that one, which, say what you will about hedging, worked for me, so I'm cool with it. But the Florida Gators won 41-24. I will say, yes, it was a great win. It was a big win. Florida's 5-4. You got your second SEC win under Billy Napier here, and you kind of get to say, okay, one win away from bowl eligibility. You've got 3 games that are all winnable. This is a Florida Gators team that could go 3-4. Nothing there has changed. Y'all know in the chat, second half of this stream, we'll engage with the chat. But you got your second SEC win. Your first was, of course, against Missouri a month ago. It's been over a month, right? Or almost a month, sorry. But yeah, no, this is a Florida Gators win that was needed. And you got your second SEC win. You can go, and you got South Carolina next week. You got Vanderbilt the week after, and then you end with a non-conference game against the ACC, obviously Florida State, who we hate. But this is a big. I see someone in the chat say take this one with a grain of salt. Yes and no. You can acknowledge that this was a big victory that the Florida Gators needed, but you could also acknowledge that Texas A&M was depleted completely, and Florida should have won this game. That's what it is. This is a game Florida should have won. They went out there and they did it, and they did it handedly. This is the first, I believe this is the first double-digit victory for the Florida Gators that wasn't Eastern Washington this year. So you could take that as a great win. I can't wait to talk to Hayden Hansen about it next Wednesday for Locked On Gators. But this is a game where you got to see Ricky Pearsall get active. He had 3 carries, 34 yards. He had 3 catches, 65 yards. So 6 touches, 99 yards is a fantastic stat line there. Caleb Douglas, 3 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Caleb Douglas needs to play more. I don't care if it's with Justin Shorter active, with Justin Shorter inactive. Caleb Douglas needs to see the field. His nickname is Payday. He hits pay dirt quite a lot. Anthony Richardson was, I want to say, inconsistent as always, but way more consistent and reliable than we'd seen him be. Not just in terms of being more aggressive with actually rushing the ball himself, making the right read, making accurate throws. He had a few where wasn't great. Like he should have had a touchdown pass to Ricky Pearsall in the end zone on that drive, or on the drive near the end zone where I believe that was the drive that Florida missed the field goal. But it was 3rd and 9, if I'm not mistaken. Had Ricky Pearsall with a little bit of room in front of him. Ball was kind of hitting Ricky Pearsall in like the hip and the rib cage area, and it got broken up because of that. So there's things like that, but you have to really come away with this and just say Anthony Richardson played one of the better games of the season for him. He also found Jaquavian Frazier, who had a good game. Xavier Henderson, I think, had a better game receiving past the line of scrimmage than we've seen him really have this year. In most cases, Montrell Johnson had 2 catches. Montrell Johnson had that, I believe it was 4th and 6. They went empty set. Montrell Johnson was just like waiting on the sideline. Anthony Richardson scrambled and like pitched it real quick. And it was a beautiful, I don't know if that was the design or if it was just Montrell was supposed to be waiting for a screen as a check down option. And Anthony Richardson rolled out and just hit the check down. Fantastic play. This is a good win for Florida. Second half shutout. Like going into this half, Florida was down 24-20 and shutout in the second half. Fantastic. Like that's something that Florida just hasn't done. Defense in the second half. I feel bad for Haynes King. I do. I feel very bad for Haynes King because that second half, he was getting hit almost every time he dropped back, and he dropped back a lot. Whether it was Lloyd Summerall, Princely Umanmielen were the main culprits, we'll say, and as pass rushers, they were just lighting him up. Princely Umanmielen, sorry, I said Mieline. Nice. Sorry, I just read the chat. Princely Umanmielen, freak. Like I love seeing it, and I'll have to see the numbers and rewatch the game, of course. I feel like Princely spent more time as a stand-up edge rusher this week than we've seen previously, and that was something where pretty much once Brenton Cox Jr. got dismissed from the team, I was saying I want to see Princely line up more as a stand-up edge rusher. I think that's something that you can do now, and he can be your stand-up edge rusher there, and you can have more 2-4-5 situations going. And it was great. It looked phenomenal in that second half. The defense really got going. First half defense sucked. Not gonna lie, that's what it was. Also, a lot of people, I feel like, we're not expecting Devon Achane to have big runs. Like, big dog, I told you earlier in the week that was gonna happen. Florida's run defense is bad. Not surprising. Devon Achane is incredibly athletic. If you listen to the crossover on Thursday, you know Devon Achane is a football player that runs track. He's not a track star that plays football. He's a football player that runs track, and you could see it every time he gets in space. That first run of his was insane. I think it was 64 yards, if I'm not mistaken. It was great, but yeah, I mean, Florida, this is a good win. This is a good win. Like someone said in the chat, you could take it with a grain of salt. Yes, you can absolutely take it with a grain of salt. But it's also one of those things where this is a Florida team that the offense got cooking. 41 points is a lot, if I'm not mistaken. That's the most outside of the Eastern Washington win, which you can even say that one, whatever. But this is a big win. Anthony Richardson, 2 long touchdowns. For a while, it looked like it was just going to be Anthony Richardson and Devon Achane just having rushing touchdowns and seeing who would make it happen. But the defense looked great in the second half. They did. They looked aggressive. They played pissed, which they should have been pissed. Like, they got dogged in that first half by backups the entire time. Offensive line for Florida came out soft. Not going to lie to you. I think that the Florida Gators offensive line in the first drive wasn't good. The first couple drives, really, but they got more aggressive. They picked up more. I liked Billy Napier being aggressive, throwing the ball early. I don't like that when the run game was working and when you could have salted away the win, he chose to continue throwing the ball. I get it, step on their throat, but I think that was a bad decision. But we're about to start talking with the chat, and we're about to have some fun there and maybe have a little bit more fun. So if you got to say anything, go ahead, say it in the chat. But first, we got a quick word from Underdog, because these little postcasts right here is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. It's the easiest place to spice up the college football season. And I don't know about you guys. I told you. I told you earlier in the week that on Underdog, my play was going to be Anthony Richardson rushing over, which was 45.5. He finished with 78. It's going to be Montrell Johnson rushing over, which was 75.5. He finished with 100. And Devon Achane rushing over, which was 55.5, and he finished with 122. So you could have made money if you listened to me. I'm just saying. Could have made money if you listened to me. Sign up with the promo code Locked On, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. You deposit $100, and you get another $100 free. Now for the second half of the postcast, you guys know how it is. It's talking with the chat, it's engaging with the chat, having a little fun. We got until I'm either done reading the chat or we got about another 9 to 10 minutes. We'll see. Where's Ozzy missing number 1 in here? SJ Dub Warrior in here. Whole bunch. I'm mad that I said let me get a chomp in the chat, and I got 3 people chomping. That's so disrespectful. Also, if you're here, check out the link in the description for the Locked On Gators Discord. We've been having a blast in there on game days. We will be having a blast there. You kind of get a little preview of what you're going to see in the week too, which, by the way, we got John Bostic this week. We got basketball coming back this week. It's going to be a good week. I'm going to let you know that. We also have Denzel Aberdeen, Florida Gators men's basketball player, true freshman. He's going to be joining the show this week too. So looking forward to that. But let's look at this chat. We got Jay said defense played amazing in the fourth. Jay, are you the one from Ireland? I don't know why I'm connecting you with Ireland. But if you are, thanks for tuning in from Ireland. I know it's late out there for you, but appreciate you being here. Defense played amazing in the fourth. The defense was amazing, genuinely amazing in the fourth. The third, they were great. But the fourth, they were just lighting Haynes King up. And I cannot wait to see the pressure numbers from this game because they were just lighting them up the entire time. Like they were living in the backfield. It was incredible to see back-to-back strip sacks. It was just awesome. Enjoyed seeing Jimbo go down. Okay. I'm glad you brought this up, Fish Izzle, which I love. I hate Jimbo Fisher. It was before Texas. It was before Florida State. I've never liked Jimbo Fisher. I hate DJ Durkin. I am so happy that I would love it if this is the loss. It won't be, but if this was the loss that gets Jimbo fired, oh my God, Billy would instantly be like top 3 Gators coach of all time for me if he gets Jimbo fired. I cannot stand Jimbo. I cannot stand DJ Durkin. So I hate them, and I'm so happy that the Florida Gators won this game. It's fantastic. Gotta love that dub. Jimbo's big time trash. That's what I'm saying. Jimbo trash. Sorry, it jumped me to the bottom of the chat, so now I'm scrolling up a little bit. Takes him with a grain of salt. Yeah. Any win this year is a good one. Yeah, Ricky also took that hit was brutal. I'm so glad he got ejected. Like that was clear targeting. I mean, to be fair, Ricky should have caught the ball anyway. Like the hit had nothing to do with the catch unless he just got scared when he felt that safety coming down. He should have caught that ball though. I will say that. Ferocious and Douglas need more snaps. Yeah. The thing with Florida that's weird is like I feel like they have talented receivers as depth, and I'm not sure if we're up playing them because they're depth receivers and they perform when they're out there, or if it's because our starters don't seem to perform as well and we don't feel as great about them. I don't know what it is, but depth looks great. I can't wait to add in a freshman in 2023. Loving Princely on the defensive side. He's a freak. The Locked On Gators Discord brought it up before too, where they were just like, hey, didn't you have Princely on the show? Yeah, Princely was on the show in like April. I highly recommend going to check that back if you can. He's got some sick tattoos. We also had a conversation about who was the most improved offensive lineman he's gone against. He said it was Austin Barber, and Austin Barber has been one of the better offensive linemen on this team. So he wasn't wrong. And if you've been listening to Locked On Gators for a while, you would know that. Patrick Toney finally made adjustments to the D-line. He used 4 down D-linemen on some plays. Yeah, 4 down D-linemen. I want to see 2 down D-linemen and 2 stand-up edge rushers. I want to see 4 down. I want to see every combination you can see and just let them pin their ears back and get after the quarterback because you need it. Get them Gators. He is on fire today. Not surprised we saw more pressure after Cox because we can actually play some games on defense. Look, Cox was still the best pass rusher on the team this season up until he got kicked off the team. He just wasn't a good finisher of those plays, but he lived in the backfield on a lot of them. Princely was on fire today. Yup. The rumor was that Florida didn't have any depth on the D-line. Those young guys got to get after the QB when the D-line adjustments were made. Oh, those young guys have got after the QB, I'm assuming he meant. Look, I don't think it was the depth on the D line. I think it's more the D tackle spot that you don't have any depth. I think edge rusher, a lot of us felt kind of good about the depth at least. I think D tackle is the spot where you really get worried, which depending on how you want to classify stand up edge rusher as a linebacker, defensive lineman, or how I call them edge. That could be kind of bunched in there. Billy cannot get Devon Achane. Where are we at? Definitely disruptive. False starts. Yeah, the Michael Tarquin 2 false starts in the first drive really sucked. The the one that got called on Jonathan Odom late in the game wasn't his fault. I was like, receivers were still completely shuffling to get in position, and Anthony Richardson had the ball snapped. Like, yeah, as a quarterback, you've got to be better there. Like, you've got to look at your guys and make sure they're set. But that's something that'll come with experience. That's just that is what it is. I hate third and long runs. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the one that was third and goal from like the 17. I think the logic there is that if you throw the ball, they're going to have 5 guys in the end zone. So you're going to check it down anyway, right? Why just cut out the middleman, hand it off? You're either going to check it down or run with AR if you call a passing play. Just deal with it. Move on from there and just kind of take your field goal, and I know that in the Lockdown Gators Discord, people were like, oh, like, but you played to win. You played to take the lead there. Like, because if you throw the ball, there's a solid chance that you turn that ball over or you give your kicker a farther back extra point or a farther back field goal, and you're kind of in a rough situation there. So I dig the whole running it there, and that's what I'm cool with. Let's go Gators. Yes, sir. What year's Princely? Is he a freshman? Princely this is his 3rd season in Gainesville. He had 2020 was his freshman year. 2021 was his sophomore year. This is also technically a sophomore year because of the COVID year, but he's a 3rd-year sophomore. So there's that. Yeah, we could have put more points on them. Yep, absolutely. That's the thing where it's like, yeah, like you won the game and you won it handedly, but you probably should have won by even more. Jacob, yeah, he's a redshirt sophomore. Chomp, yes, Jay. Okay, you are the Irishman. So we got Jay representing Ireland, and we got Josh representing Spain. Beautiful duo there. Love it. Love to see. Honestly, that's insane to me that there are people that watch this show from Europe. That's just really cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a ton. Hell yeah, glad to have him. Hell yeah, glad to have him. It's Gators year next year. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not. I'll say that one. Princely, Lee, McClellan, Powell. Yeah, great defensive line front. I mean, I love the rotation. I love the depth right now. They're really stepping up. I think that's one of the important things that I think a lot of people are like, oh, like you guys said there wasn't much depth early in the year. And it's like, there wasn't. A lot of the depth pieces have taken strides this season. I think that's a big step up to Coach Sean Spencer, co-defensive coordinator, defensive line coach. I think he's done a tremendous job during the season. McClellan does give us 2 more big years. Yeah. I know that we had high hopes for Javon Dexter, and he has not reached my expectations at least. But damn, Chris McClellan's going to have a freaky time. Jimbo's crying is worth it all day long. Absolutely. We're going to beat South Carolina next week. I genuinely think Florida will finish 8-4. I said that after losing to Georgia. I think I said it before losing to Georgia, where I was like, even if you lose to Georgia, you could still win out. And that's an important thing to talk about. I said before Jimbo's now. Jimbo, Billy is Bilbo. Sure, cool with it. Why not? Should have caught it on the reel. Billy owns him. They seem a bit more dynamic with the reserve wideouts. Yeah, I don't know. I think the reserve wideouts are more athletic than the starters, but I think the starters are more refined route runners. And I think that's kind of the trade-off you take, where you could have more explosive plays, but less consistency. We'll see what it is. Also, what the heck were the commentators talking about when they were like, oh yeah, Justin Shorter's out. He's probably their fastest receiver. No, like that's just wrong. That's just not true. Even if that's an opinion, your opinion is wrong at that point. That's the best bragging right ever. We got Jimbo fired. I would love it. I'm telling you, I would love it. Love it. Honestly, AR under center more personally, but I'm old. You are old, Josh. You're old. I don't know how old you are. I'm assuming you're mid-30s ish, which I mean to me, I'm 26, so as old to me. Sorry. I had to laugh those guys. See, like they were bad. 44. Oh, Josh. Josh. I had to Josh. I want. Odom's son was out there, so this is the first time we really got to see Jonathan Odom play significant snaps, and I know that you liked him because he's Odom's son. So there you go. I know that that's one thing you were looking forward to. So there's that. I will say I think the Gators could benefit from going under center more, but that's also the point of pistol. Is like the main benefit of going under center is the run threat, and then having the running back line up behind the quarterback, and you get to run kind of downhill. That's the point of pistol, is having the running back behind Anthony Richardson, and he gets to run downhill. But pistol also gives you that passing threat more, and I think that's why Billy Napier loves the pistol. So there's that. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in. We've got a bonus episode coming out in a couple hours about quarterbacks in the 2024 class. DJ Lagway, Davi Belfort. Check out the Locked On Gators Discord if you want. The description's in the link. We've got, I think, 2 bonus episodes coming out tomorrow. Maybe just one. I think 2. Yeah, I think we got 2 coming out for you. We've got a lot of content coming this week. We're getting basketball mixed into it. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is still so incredible, the number of people that actually tune into these things and engage, and I appreciate it so much. I love you all. Go Gators. Have a great weekend, and I don't know who you want to win, Georgia and Tennessee or Florida State and Miami, but I just hope that whatever you want to happen happens, and that they all are mad. And thank you so much. Yeah, Rod, I agree with you. I think Florida could be in for a big year next year, but we'll see. There's rumors and stuff that I don't want to address really. But we'll see what happens. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend, great Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday and enjoy this victory.